Right now I'm not working. Every single month, the mortgage comes due like a weight on my chest, pressing so hard that sometimes I feel I can't breathe. But there's no exit. If I sell the apartment, my children lose their school placement. If I don't sell, I drown in debt. Either way, there is nowhere to run. I honestly don't know what choice is left. I never caught the so-called golden era. When I was young, policies shifted, and suddenly having a second child became normal. But if your child wanted to attend a decent local school, you needed two things: a home and a local household registration. So I bought a house, I followed the rules, I did what society demanded, and now everything has collapsed. Jobs are disappearing, incomes are shrinking, and people like me are being crushed in silence. I'm also a small business owner. I sell food. On paper, I run a business. In reality, I barely make anything. Some days the earnings are so low I don't even bother counting them. If housing prices continue falling, the consequences won't just be bad. They will be catastrophic. Once prices drop below loan values, homes instantly turn into traps. Entire neighborhoods become panic zones, filled with owners desperate to sell. Prices spiral downward with no floor, and the group hit hardest is always the middle class. These were people with stable incomes, families, plans, but once the system turns against them, collapse comes fast. Companies fail. Layoffs spread like wildfire. Some businesses don't survive at all. Bankruptcy becomes routine. People lose their jobs, and once that happens, how does anyone keep paying a mortgage? Payment defaults multiply. Foreclosed homes appear in waves. Bank-owned properties flood the market. Since 2025, housing prices in China's first- and second-tier cities have plunged sharply, accelerating the freefall of the middle class. Many people bought at the peak, believing the future was secure. Then layoffs came. Businesses collapsed. Mortgages remained. Selling became impossible. For many families, survival itself is now a daily struggle. In first-tier cities like Shanghai, salary cuts are widespread. In suburban areas, housing prices have fallen back to where they were 10 years ago. People discover a brutal truth. Even if they sell, they still owe the bank hundreds of thousands of yuan. More and more people quietly admit something unthinkable years ago. They envy those who never bought a house, never signed a mortgage, never tied their lives to 30 years of debt. In this episode, we look directly at the real condition of China's property market. Many people completely underestimated the destructive power of a 30-year mortgage. This isn't a loan. It's a bet against your own life. You're betting that for 3 decades, nothing will go wrong. No layoffs, no pay cuts, no illness, no divorce, no black swan events. That bet is failing. For me, this disaster comes on top of everything else. I still have 3 children to raise. The impact is devastating beyond words. There is no path left. The only option is to try selling first, but even if you slash the price to the bone, there's no guarantee anyone will buy. You must prepare yourself mentally for that reality. Can you accept it? I can, but even knowing that, I don't know where to begin. What's the lowest price you can accept? This apartment can't sell at 2.1 million yuan. Who would buy it at 188 million? Today, houses are unsellable even when prices collapse. Some are practically being given away, yet no one dares to touch them. I've worked in property acquisitions in Shanghai for many years, and I've never seen a market this unreal. It's not just that people don't want to buy anymore. Even if a house were free, many would still walk away. Just yesterday, a landlord told me his home had been listed for half a year. The price dropped from 3 million to 2.8 million yuan. Almost no viewings. Agents advised him to cut further. This isn't an isolated case. In 2025, Shanghai's second-hand housing market saw steady declines, with some districts dropping more than 0.6%. In older communities, if you want to sell, you must be ready to slash prices by at least 15%. And even then, nearly half of residential communities fail to complete a single transaction. It's not about price anymore. There are simply no buyers. Those who buy in 2026 will struggle for at least another decade compared to those who bought in 2021. I was born in 1990. I'm 35 this year. I opened a hot pot restaurant in Chengdu. It's on the edge of collapse. I sold my car to pay staff wages and rent. I listed my home for sale. Because when the weight of an era falls on ordinary people, it doesn't feel like dust. It feels like a mountain. I bought my house in 2021 using the savings of 6 families combined. The mortgage interest rate was nearly 6%. Every month, I pay almost 20,000 yuan. It's suffocating. The worst part? My home is still under a 5-year resale restriction. I can't sell even if I want to. 5 years from now, small county towns will be filled with homes priced at 80,000 or 100,000 yuan. Go back today, and you'll already see prices at 5,000 to 7,000 yuan per square meter. The shock is overwhelming. Why have prices collapsed like this? Because circulation is dead. Once circulation stops, housing prices turn terrifying. I'll be honest, I bought a house in Changshu in June 2021. Back then, I owned over 100 properties. Total price, 3.4 million yuan. Loan, 2.3 million. I've been repaying for 5 years straight. Every single month, without exception, I paid over 10,000 yuan to the bank. Over time, I paid nearly 600,000 yuan. More than 200,000 of that was pure interest. All my savings were wiped out. By October 2023, we had only 173,000 yuan left. Interest rates dropped to 3.2%. Last year, we repaid 240,000 yuan early. This year, another 180,000. In 2 years, we repaid 550,000 yuan, yet we still owe 1.1 million. Income dropped from over 10,000 to just above 8,000 yuan per month. The pressure eased slightly, but under current conditions, it's still crushing. Recently, a story went viral online. A ride-hailing driver received a call mid-ride. He suddenly stopped the car and broke down completely. He slammed the steering wheel, screamed that his life was over, and banged his head against the door. The passenger was terrified. The reason? His mortgage had been cut off. The bank called to say his home was about to be auctioned. He bought in 2019 at peak prices. His parents emptied their lifetime savings for the down payment. Within 2 years, prices collapsed by nearly half. The down payment vanished, the house was gone, the debt remained. He used to earn over 6,000 yuan a month. He didn't want to buy a home, but without one, he couldn't marry. His family helped him pay a 5,000 yuan mortgage. Then he was laid off. In his 30s, unable to find work, he became a ride-hailing driver, switching between delivery and driving, pushing his body to the limit for a home he barely lived in. He hadn't slept for more than a day. Quietly, he said, "I just want to live decently. I just want a home. Why is it so hard?" He still has 24 years of mortgage left. He'll be 58 when it ends. He bought in Taiwan in 2019, right after marriage. Now he wonders where his courage came from. There are countless people like this. A friend in real estate told me he's at the brink. He bought a 3.2 million yuan home, paid 900,000 down, borrowed 2.3 million. At the peak, it was worth 5.2 million. He later borrowed another 2.6 million for business. Now the home is worth only 2.6 million, but total debt exceeds 3.1 million. Liabilities crush assets. Negative equity has swallowed everything. Layoffs are everywhere. In 2025, construction became the hardest-hit sector. Wage arrears are common. People over 35 who lose their jobs face only one reality: endless resumes, endless interviews, endless rejection. China's property collapse is no longer a cyclical downturn. It is a systemic breakdown with no clear bottom in sight. Housing prices are still sliding, transactions are frozen, and confidence has evaporated. Homes that once symbolized security have become financial traps, locking families into decades of debt with no escape. Developers are bankrupt, projects are abandoned, and banks are quietly absorbing waves of bad loans. The real damage, however, is not measured in buildings or balance sheets, but in broken households and shattered expectations. What was once marketed as the engine of prosperity has turned into the core of the crisis. At the same time, the broader economy is sinking into a severe recession. Factory closures, mass layoffs, wage cuts, and unpaid salaries have become routine across cities large and small. Small businesses are collapsing, foreign capital is pulling out, and consumption has stalled as people cling to what little cash they have left. For millions, unemployment is no longer temporary, but structural, especially for those over 35 who are quietly pushed out of the labor market. With jobs gone and mortgages still due, despair spreads rapidly. This is not just an economic slowdown. It is a prolonged erosion of livelihoods, stability, and faith in the future.